This week on the Island Times News Update, Neptune Beach is back to square one on its sign ordinance. Jacksonville Beach continues to refine its downtown action plan, and the Beaches Art Fest has a successful second year. Welcome to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. After 18 months of discussions, workshops, and changes, the Neptune Beach City Council Monday night voted down the latest version of its sign ordinance, leaving many issues unresolved. Members of the council continue to differ on what should trigger the replacement of a tall sign with a low monument sign, which the crafters of the original legislation passed in 2002 thought would make Neptune Beach a more attractive place. But the council last year eliminated a hard deadline for changing the signs and are now struggling to establish when a business would have to bring a sign into compliance. Additionally, some on the council are looking for a different treatment for businesses with multiple tenants, saying the small signs for the small businesses in those shopping centers would not be particularly effective. Others think all businesses should be treated the same. Replacing signs has been a particularly thorny issue, with Councilor John Jolly and Vice Mayor Richard Arthur opposed to the definition that had been placed in the ordinance. Jolly proposed late language that would require replacement based on a percentage of the original permitted value. He also said that if the words complete repair were left in the ordinance, then business owners would find a way to keep 1% of their original sign so as not to be forced to replace it with a sign that complies with the ordinance.
As it's written now, and so these points being things that's going to trigger somebody to come in compliance, this section now has been hijacked, and I use that word correctly, so that now nobody really has to come into compliance. What I'm talking about is what's in the 27592F. It says any complete replacement of a sign because the wind blows it over or accident or whatever. Well, any businessman is going to say, I'm not going to completely replace the sign. I'll put 99% of a new sign up, but I'll keep 1% from the old sign, and I've got my sign back I had originally, and I don't have to come in compliance. So it's been hijacked as a way to continue the non-compliance. We have 54 signs in Neptune Beach, of which only 15 are non-compliant, and those 15 are trying to fight as hard as not to come in compliance.
Vice Mayor Richard Arthur objected to language that would allow multi-tenant signs to be treated differently than signs for a single business. One section of the ordinance would have allowed multi-tenant businesses to keep the signs they have as they are for a period of 6 months after the legislation was passed, to allow the Community Development Board to continue to work on triggers for when they should be brought into compliance. Arthur wanted that section cut from the bill.
If you have a piece of property in a commercial district, whether you have multi-tenants or one tenant, I don't think if you decide to go to multi-tenant, then you should be under a separate set of codes or rules. From what I've seen, there's no other beach community or community around that has a separate set of rules and laws for multi-tenant signs. I think through the definition of branding, we've alleviated the risk of and addressed the issue of the master brand identity. If it has 4 tenants and 2 leave and the sign goes blank, that doesn't trigger it, the whole center or the whole sign to come down to a monument. So I think that Section 5, I'm not sure what the intent is or what special privileges we're trying to give to multi-tenant centers, but I would be for removing 5, and in that case just replacing it with the language that I'd work with Patrick on.
Arthur's language would have required multi-tenant signs to be replaced if the sign were substantially changed, if it were completely replaced, or when a new business came in where there was an abandoned sign. Mayor Harriet Pruitt said that language has not been vetted by the Community Development Board. Councilor Scott Wiley said that the section separating out multi-tenant signs was there because not all businesses and signs are the same.
One set of rules doesn't fit everybody, and here we're trying to distinguish between a commercial shopping center versus a smaller complex or a single stand-in. I don't think that was anybody's intent that anything has been hijacked. It's been out here. It's been in front of everybody. We've looked at it. We've had numerous workshops about it. I would be, since this was my bill, Richard's 27592, Section 4, I have no issue with that. We could certainly add that to, add it down here to make it another number would be fine. I have no issue with that. Taking Section 5 out, I think there's no reason to do.
When it came time for a vote, Mayor Pruitt, Vice Mayor Arthur, and Councilor Jolly voted against the ordinance. It was determined that it could only be brought up again by someone on the prevailing side. As it stands now, businesses are still governed by the version of the sign ordinance that was passed earlier this year. The Community Development Board has still not finalized parameters for monument signs for multi-tenant shopping centers. In a separate issue, the council directed City Manager Andy Hyatt to work with Aqua East and U-Haul on the repair of their signs. Because they were designed to have portions blow out in a wind event to prevent their destruction, the city will not require those two businesses to replace their damaged signs with low monument signs. At a workshop meeting Monday night, Jacksonville Beach City Manager George Forbes added some details to the Jacksonville Beach Action Plan developed over the past 18 months. Among the major issues the city hopes to address with this downtown action plan is parking, and there are multiple solutions being discussed by the council. Forbes said that his recommendation is to fairly quickly construct a surface parking lot of about 90 to 100 spaces on property the city already owns on 2nd Street at 3rd Avenue North. That can be done within a year, Forbes said. The next year, the city should begin on a parking structure in the Ritz parking lot, Forbes said. That would add about 250 spaces to the downtown parking scheme, as well as additional retail stores on the first floor. The parking garage would be 3 stories and limited to 35 feet. With all of that, Forbes said, the city should consider leasing the Oceanfront Pier parking lot to a developer for an upscale hotel, which he said would be the highest and best use of that property. A lease, Forbes said, would be attractive to a developer because it would alleviate the land acquisition costs of oceanfront property. Forbes said that while the pier parking lot would be available for development, the city was not losing access to the pier itself. With the city of Jacksonville budgeting $800,000 for much-needed repairs, Jacksonville Beach can concentrate on making the entrance inviting, and that is part of the overall plan. The city also plans to add multiple bike racks with an artistic flair around the central business district, and there are plans for multiple unisex restrooms at the city's oceanfront parks, along with a performers lounge at the Seawalk Pavilion. The plan also calls for expansion and renovation of some storage buildings used by the city. Forbes also dropped a surprise on the council. He intends to introduce a change to the outdoor dining ordinance that would give restaurants an opportunity to establish small outdoor dining areas without being required to go through the permit process or requiring additional parking. Planning Director Bill Mann said that those outdoor dining areas would be limited to 200 square feet.
But if you think about it, 200 square feet is like 10 by 20 or 40 by 5. That's a lot of two-top. As soon as you start getting that kind of mass, you really need to park it. And if you're getting that kind of massing outside, we need to know about it and we need to regulate it.
Councilman Phil Vogelsang said that he would like to open the discussion about outdoor music at the same time the outdoor seating was under consideration. But Forbes said that outdoor music is regulated by a different part of the city code, and there were other issues to be considered in that regard. Mayor Charlie Latham agreed, saying that outdoor music is becoming an increasing problem in St. Augustine.
Seems like we've got a relatively low resistance on this initiative where we have a higher resistance on the outdoor music, and it's going to slow the whole process down. So we might as well take the piece that we can manage now and get it moving.
The city will also work on legislation that would eliminate the practice employed by some restaurants of breaking down tables late at night to make more room for bar patrons. Such restaurants in name only have long been a contentious issue, and Mayor Latham has been a proponent of finding a way to change the practice. The plan also calls for the city to consider a change in the closing time for restaurants that serve alcohol. Forbes said he hopes the council will authorize the city staff to move forward on the aspects of the plan that can be implemented quickly. The Ishbrant Beautification Committee in Neptune Beach completed the first phase of one of its most recent projects Wednesday with the installation of a Welcome to Neptune Beach sign on 1st Street at 20th Avenue North. The sign was designed by Carrie Chin, who also chairs the Community Development Board. It was placed in the island that prevents traffic from crossing back and forth between Jacksonville Beach and Neptune Beach. Beautification Committee Chair Joshua Messenger said the placement of the sign represents a new direction for the committee, which in the past established a butterfly garden in Jarboe Park and for years designated a Yard of the Month in Neptune Beach during the summer.
We have a wonderful town, we have amazing people, but we're overlooked, I think. You drive into Neptune Beach, you don't even realize you're in it.
We're a small city, but we're a proud city, and we need some beautification, and this is just one of the steps that the Beautification Committee is working on. And we've literally waited months and months, over a year, for this first sign. We're going to eventually put one on 3rd Street, one on Penman Road, and then the big one will be on Atlantic Boulevard across from Atlantic Beach on the other side, on the Neptune Beach side.
Pruitt said the committee is also working on a plan to add palm trees to 1st Street. The other signs will be erected later, though the one on Atlantic Boulevard will likely take the longest, as it will be placed in the right-of-way of a state highway and needs the approval of the Florida Department of Transportation. The design is the same as has been printed on front license tags being sold at Neptune Beach City Hall. Proceeds from the tags go to support the activities of the Beautification Committee. Well, the second annual Beaches Art Fest was held at the Beaches Museum and History Park last Saturday, and organizers said the event was a great success. The event, presented by Driftwood of Jacksonville Beach, the Beaches Museum and History Park, and directed by Joan Johnson of Fine Arts Appreciated, is the only juried fine arts show in the Beaches area. More than 6,000 visitors filled the park throughout the day, marveling over the unique quality of the art on display. The judges, William Carter, Worley Favor, and Pamela Zambetti, had the difficult job of choosing winners from the 78 registered artists. Painter Elizabeth Quinn Baldock was the winner of the juried portion of the show. In addition to the art, music filled the air, courtesy of A Nice Pair, The Rip Currents, Skip Flat, and Matt McLaughlin. Positive feedback from artists, visitors, and even the mayor of Jacksonville Beach, who remarked the Art Fest is exactly the family-friendly type of event we're looking for, will guide the discussions and planning for the 2016 Beaches Art Fest. Well, when we come back, lots of cultural events coming up at the beach. This is the Island Times News Update.
Beaches Academy Child Care Center in Jacksonville Beach has been offering affordable, loving child care to families in the Beaches communities for 35 years. Conveniently located on Penman Road, Beaches Academy offers care for children from infants through preschool, with programs that encourage learning and outdoor play. Our affordable tuition means families can get quality child care at a price that fits their budget. Contact Beaches Academy at 246-3885 and schedule a tour of our center. Beaches Academy, the child always comes first. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning in Atlantic Beach offers a full range of residential and commercial heating and air conditioning services, from new installation to replacement and remodeling. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning can keep your home comfortable year-round, and they offer preventive maintenance contracts to keep your system running at peak efficiency. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning is an authorized Bryant dealer and will service all brands. For year-round comfort in your home or business, contact the original Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning at 241-1788.
Welcome back to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. The city of Atlantic Beach continues to tackle national issues, the most recent of which is the practice of fracking. The Atlantic Beach City Commission will consider a resolution opposing the practice in the state of Florida. The resolution declares the city's opposition to hydraulic and acidic fracturing, or fracking, and other extreme methods of oil and gas extraction within the state of Florida or in its adjacent waters. The resolution also states that the City Commission of the City of Atlantic Beach respectfully requests that no state agency issue permits for such purpose and urges legislators of the state of Florida to pass legislation prohibiting the practice anywhere within the state or offshore. Then, later in the meeting, the city will discuss granting a natural gas franchise to Peoples Gas. Electric harp virtuoso Deborah Henson Conant will be in concert at the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall on October the 17th, presented by the Ponte Vedra Cultural Center. Called the Jimi Hendrix of the harp, the Grammy-nominated electric harp virtuoso has a wicked sense of humor, a gutsy set of vocal cords, and a theatrical flair. The Cultural Center is pleased to present this unique concert, Hip Harp for the Arts, at the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall as a fundraiser for their outreach program, Music Therapy for Children with Special Needs. Tickets are available from the Ponte Vedra Cultural Center for $45 for members and $50 for non-members, and several VIP packages are also available. The Beaches Museum and History Park will open its next history exhibit, Naval Station Mayport, Guardian of the Southern Frontier, on Tuesday, October 13th at 6 p.m. The exhibit will explore the history of the base and its impact on the Beaches community. The exhibit is a collaboration of retired and active duty military, local historians, the Mayport Mirror, and the Jacksonville Marine Maritime Heritage Center. Several other organizations and companies made the exhibit possible, including Hover Girls Properties and the Rotary Club of Ponte Vedra Beach. The patriotic opening night celebration will coincide with the 240th birthday of the U.S. Navy, and the exhibit will continue through February 12th. The museum will be open during the Sea and Sky Spectacular so that visitors to the beach can learn some of the Navy's history in the area. Well, don't forget the Ferry Fest is this Saturday with activities on both ferry landings on both sides of the St. Johns River. This is the 4th annual event celebrating the unique link on A1A across the river. The event is free and open to the public. And the Neptune Beach Police Department would like to remind you to be safe when making and paying for any online transaction, such as Craigslist. Police Chief David Sembach invites you to consider using the Police Department lobby as a location to carry out exchanges resulting from online transactions. The Neptune Beach Police Department lobby is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can use the lobby and have a safe place to conduct your transactions. Well, the National Weather Service says we can expect some showers on Saturday, but then partly sunny for Sunday and dry weather through most of next week. Look for highs in the upper 70s to around 80 and lows in the upper 60s to around 70. The Island Times is always digital, always free at www.theislandtimes.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to be the first to know about stories posted to the Island Times. I'm Tom Patton. Thanks for watching.